There's a very slight chance that our father comes on the live and shows his mustache off.
Very slight chance.
He doesn't know what TikTok Live is. He just got the internet, but thanks for liking the live, Maximus. You guys can hit the share arrow on the bottom and send it out to people. Bubba Tub Tub. His power emanates from his stash, so it's like Joseph Stalin-esque. Jinx in the house.
TikToker.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with TikToker. Thanks for sharing, Maximus. You gotta scoot in a little bit. Like, just scoot all the way over on your seat. Yeah. Not designed for two people. Mac. Let me give him this device. Yeah, if you guys have any specific stories that you want to hear, things you want comments on, put them in the chat. We got a list going. Suspension stories. I never got suspended in high school, but I did get sent to the principal's office a few times. It's not that impressive of a story. Okay, buddy, let's find... Hold on. There you go, dude. Keep it PG, okay? Close the door behind you. We'll chat in a minute. Jay Beck in the house. Seen him more on TikTok than in real life. That is not an exaggeration.
Yeah. He's one of those virtual students, huh?
No, I just wasn't in class very much, and he's in track. Yeah, Jay Beck knows. He's liking the live because it's so true.
What's up, Venus? Young Wei Who? Is that?
Yeah. Nice. We already got like 15 people in here.
So what's the goal for the live today?
I set it to 750 roses because roses are like the cheapest thing. So, yeah, this counts as study hall time, like tutoring outside the classroom. You got a lot of assessments you're missing, so you can work on that while you're in my live and ask questions in the chat. Callybug in the house. Uh-oh, Tatum's here. Gee, thanks for liking the live. That's why I registered you. Oh, thanks for the roses. It's just me.
What's up, Lando?
Young Wei Who. Yeah, so we can figure out what the top giveaway is, but the sponsor's AaronMakelky.com. Those of you who do not know how to use AI in school, whether that's for your college classes, writing papers, going back to grad school, whatever you're doing, without cheating. So most people that I've seen in my classes just say, hey, ChatGPT, write this essay, and they paste it in. We have a story about that later. And then they get busted because their teacher knows, or they run it through some kind of AI detection software. My website and my group that I'm going to run in June is for college students that want to learn how to use it constructively. And a lot of people who've gotten out of college, even some graduates from this May, hollered at me and said, hey, can you teach me how to use it for my job? Because my boss wants me to learn how to use AI, and none of us know how, but we know we need to. So you can check that out. It's in my bio page. If you just go to my link in bio, that'll take you to my website. But you can... There's going to be a class every Sunday in June for a small group, like no more than 20 people, to learn how to use tools like that. And then I'm making a course, and there's AI tutoring, so you can get one-on-one help with whatever you're trying to use it for. Thanks for liking the live. It's just me. So let's start with recapping the week, and then you chime in here. But go first. Give them the little intro about the twin angle for the few people who don't know who we are.
Yeah, so we're identical twins, doing the TikTok live once a week. So last week, the giveaway, if we got 500 roses, which thanks to Barrett happened, I think he gave like 492 of them, was we would spend a day in the same school together. So after we met the goal, I told him there's no chance in heck I'm taking a day off to go teach at Kelly Walsh. Not an option. So we only have 1 week of school left now, so he came to my high school where I'm the principal in Glen Rock and showed up late, had his phone out, but didn't get suspended, so that was good. And we had a fun day being twin principals. I was surprised by how easily most people could tell us apart.
Yeah. Hashtag Twinciples.
Yeah.
CJ, thanks for joining. Trost is the #1 gifter with the roses. Yeah, and I honestly didn't think that your boss would be okay with that. Braxton, Young Wayhu, thanks for joining. You guys can tap the hearts and hit like. Uh-oh, Makelky's in here supervising. Zoe, thanks for joining. So he had to get his boss's okay, but the funny thing is I'm a certified principal. I have a K-12 principal license. I'm just smart enough not to use it and stay in the classroom where you can actually make a difference and not get yelled at all day. So I didn't get paid, but I was a pretty qualified.
You didn't get paid in cash. You got paid in ribeye steak lunch.
Yeah, it was a lot better lunch than I normally eat. But it was that was fun, and we got a lot of stories from that on Wednesday. I got to be on a live radio show and a podcast on Thursday, and we can get into that topic in debating AI in schools, which connects to the first example of one of his teachers thinking I was him on Wednesday when I was at his school, which was ironic what she came and asked me. And we just been hanging out, state tracks in Casper, so lots of people coming by to visit this week, watching some Trojans win state championships. Shout out to Ortberg, state champ in the high hurdles, and
Best of the best, right?
Yep, Landon Walker won both jumps, 2 state titles. He's a beast, and he's only a junior, so that was a ton of fun to watch him jump today.
So why don't you start with what did you notice right away were the differences between Kelly Walsh and Glen Rock as far as the school? Because it's very different environments. What were the biggest differences?
Yeah, the first one is actually just when you walk in the office, and I had this talk with your office staff, which is a handful of people. When you walk in the Glen Rock office, there's one secretary immediately facing you in the middle of the room. There's one principal office on the left, I guess kind of one principal office on the left, and then a second principal or secretary desk behind. So there's basically 4 people you can kind of see when you walk in. But when you walk in big school offices like Bozeman High or Kelly Walsh, there are, I'd have to go down and look, but 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 secretaries on the left, 1 on the right, and then there's a principal's office, and then you go around a corner and there's 2 activities secretaries, and then there's 4 more principals, and then there's a budget lady. So there's like 12 different people, easily 12 different people that you would run into. In Glen Rock, it's really like 1 or 2. And so it's hard. And your ladies even told me one of your teachers said she went into Kelly Walsh and they were like, I don't do that. Talk to this person. And it's like in Glen Rock, there's the one lady there, and if she's not the one to talk to, she knows the thing. And so it's weird how the culture of your front office is different based on the size of your school.
Uh-oh. Allie liking the live.
Yeah. Thanks for liking and sharing. So besides that, the other one that was really big right away in the morning is big schools can't even fit in one space to have an assembly. Kelly Walsh's gym, I would guess it holds 2,000 people. You can't fit all the students in there. And if you can't fit all your students in the gym, where do you have an assembly?
You don't.
You don't. Like, we don't have assemblies. Maybe homecoming and senior night or something like that, but we just don't have assemblies. And so to say you start off the morning in Glen Rock, how many students is that, 7 through 12?
A little over 300.
I mean, that's about half the size of our freshman class. Brittany, thanks for joining. So you have 300 kids and 20 teachers? 25, maybe?
Like 30 teachers, probably 50 staff. Yeah, including sports staff.
So like 350 bodies total.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. You can fit those in the lunchroom and the, I don't know, what do you call the upper level, just the balcony?
Yeah, the balcony.
But to start with the assembly, I don't know if that's what you call it, but it's morning announcements in person. Dom Jar in the house. He put the dumbbells down and the protein shake for TikTok for a couple minutes. Ty, hope things are good in Nevada, man. Getting ready to start the new job. I'm proud of you. Devin, thanks for joining. So to have a live assembly, and Kelly Walsh, you hear the all call on the PA system, and half the rooms you can't hear it, and kids are talking, and it's like 5 minutes long, and nobody ever listens.
Well, that's why we started doing it that way. People said, you know, oh, in this classroom or this area of the school, we can never hear the morning announcements, and we're trying to say the pledge together, but it's hard to do it together. I'm like, why don't we just do it in the commons area? So we tried it last semester just to see if we could fit, and it worked pretty good. It's a fun way to start the day and get the music going in the mornings as kids are coming in and staff are coming in, and having the best lunch ladies in America serving breakfast every morning.
Yeah, and you really do. Not that other schools I've been in don't have good lunch ladies, but the lunch ladies at Glen Rock were rocking out, talking. They seemed like they enjoyed their job.
Yeah.
And this is going to hurt me a little bit, but I have to give you a compliment. I didn't know it was him, but I said, oh, whoever's DJing and on aux actually plays good music here when I walked in the morning. And his secretary's like, oh, yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to take the compliment back because I didn't mean it for you. But compared to, think about most schools, whether you're a student or a staff member, when you walk in, what do you see and hear?
Nothing.
Yeah. Or there's just like groups of people with their earbuds in watching YouTube videos, or like at Kelly Walsh, there's the table of Dungeons and Dragons dudes talking, and then the band kids, and it's like each little clique, and most of them just have their nose buried in their phone. Man on the Moon, thanks for joining. But when you walk in Glen Rock and there's like a big legit sound system set up playing shockingly decent music.
What was playing? I don't even remember.
It was just like modern rock and not old. It wasn't from when we were in high school. What's up, Elgar? Thanks for joining. So it is different because I've never gone to a school where you walk in and somebody's DJing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in my first block class, that's always the one you have kids trickle in because every other class is on a 5-minute passing period. What's up, Nevaeh? What's up, Jordan? When you walk into class and somebody's playing music, I always play upbeat, positive music in leadership class. So when kids walk in, it just sets the stage like we're going to do something fun and be engaged today. So
yeah, it helps you. I mean, music has a big effect on people's mood, and there's a lot of psychology behind it. It's hard to come up with music every day, but I try and ask. There's some kids that I just ask for a song or a band or a genre, and then just do like the radio feature, but it's hard. You got to make sure it's PG. And some of the stuff they request, it's like, I have no idea what that music is, so it makes me nervous to play it. But yeah, it's a fun way to start the day. And I think kids understand what's going on because there's no excuse for saying like, oh, well, when I'm in wood shop, the speakers don't work. So it's also fun to say the pledge that way, you know, doing it together in one room instead of in groups across the school in your classroom, just to hear it together. One of our subs on Thursday, the day after you were there, we called on him, Mr. Metz. Pretty sure he's not on TikTok. He was a veteran, and one of the kids goes, Mr. Makelky, what war did he fight in? Was it the Revolutionary or the Civil? And he was not joking. But shout out to Mr. Metz. He's an awesome dude. He led the pledge, and he was cueing the kids like, stand up straight, left hand down the crease of your pant leg, right hand on your heart. You know, like no one teaches kids how to do that. The proper technique for saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah, and then we do a lot of celebrations too. Well, you got to see that because we're doing Student of the Month.
yeah, tell them about the belt, and we'll have to put some posts up. Like I have a picture with it I haven't posted yet, but what's the deal with the belt at Glen Rock?
Yeah, so one of our football coaches was talking about how he wants like a thing. You see teams where they run out onto the field with a thing that represents something. And so I was trying to give him some ideas. Like, we're a blue collar town. I'm like, have a kid with a lunch pail, or have a kid with a pickaxe, like mining town, or
a hard hat.
A hard hat, Rocky. We had like a sledgehammer kid, and we had a flag bearer, and he just couldn't come up with anything. So I asked some of the kids, I'm like, what would be cool to run out with? And they're like, we want a championship belt. So they designed it. It's white leather, gold.
Do we want to know how much a custom-made WWE belt costs?
It's not that expensive for when you picked it up. I mean, you think it's going to weigh like a pound. What did you think?
No, it's like legit material. It's not some cheap plastic thing.
It weighs like 8 pounds. So to throw it over your shoulder like a Continental Soldier, it feels good. It feels real. So, yeah, we use that to celebrate when we have champions. So we had a state wrestler champion. He got it for a day. We had a coach of the year. Got it for a day. Any team championships. And then our students of the month. The traits are walk like a champion, talk like a champion, and act like a champion. So if they get student of the month, we call them up, and the teacher who nominated them celebrates them. We do that at the school board meeting, and we put it in the announcements, but nobody ever sees it. And so now we do it in front of the whole school, and then we hang up their banner. You saw the kid had a banner.
Yeah.
That hangs up in the commons, and then at the end of the year, they get to take it home. So
Chuka, he's tired because he's been at state track and he has graduation looming. Hoping no one pulls up their robe and moons the crowd like the kid threatened to last year. Uh-oh. Casey's in here, about to make it rain roses on his favorite principal.
Yeah, so when you get the belt, we make like a tunnel and we do a champion walk. So we play the school song and they get to walk down the 2 stories worth of hallways. With the belt, and then they keep the belt for the day. So it's kind of fun to see a kid walking down the halls with the belt. That way you know who the champion is, you know who to look up to.
What's up, Grayson? The comp for today.
Trying to get paid.
Yeah, there's going to be a Sunday night live class in June for students who want to learn how to use AI without cheating for their college classes. So that's what we're promoting. But it's an invite-only thing, so we'll see. The goal, 750 roses, to get him to convince his wife to let him do it. We got to pay him. He's a principal. He's used to that principal check, and the TikTok check alone has not convinced him to go full-time on TikTok yet. But
you haven't even paid for my gas to drive to Casper yet.
I bought you dinner. This was a business expense. It's on the business credit card. So
cheap dinner.
Uh-oh, Braden Johnson in the house. Ever since he got a haircut, I never see him anymore. Hope he says hi before he goes to college.
Were you surprised by how many kids could tell us apart?
When you're side by side, it's way easier. When there's one person in the room, especially when I'm standing in your office, people would walk in and just start talking to me, and I'd look at him like, oh, wait, that's not you. You're not Eric. But when you're side by side, what's up, Jonah? What's up, Roland? Yeah, I mean...
What was the best... being confused with the principal moment when you were in the school.
Should we tell some of those stories? Because I have multiple, and they were organic. Okay, the deal is you guys got to hit share to 10 people, because this is the gold, the best content of the live here. So while I was in Glen Rock dressed exactly like him, school was going on. I was standing in the hallway. He was doing something in the gym, so we're not even on the same side of the school. And I was talking to his lunch ladies about being Eric's twin, and they know that I'm not Eric. And here comes an English teacher, and she's fired up. And I'm standing there at his little principal cart that he walks the halls with.
It's my desk.
Yeah. And she goes... we have a problem here. And I was like, okay, does she think I'm Eric or what?
Welcome to being a principal. People just bring you their problems, right?
Yeah. Thanks for joining, Chrysler. And thanks for sharing. So she goes, we have a problem here. And I said, okay. And she shoves this essay in my face. And
she had it printed off.
It was printed off. What's up, Tyson? And it was about the Holocaust. So I think they read a book about Holocaust concentration camps. I don't know what grade level this is. And she goes, the kid's name's on the top, and she's like, he says he wrote this. I was like, okay, I don't know what grade he's in. I don't know who he is. I don't know what this class is.
You don't know who the teacher is.
I don't know the teacher. She's just like already going into her whole story, and she goes, read the first paragraph. So I read it, and then I'm kind of like, I guess I just have to guess why she's mad. So I looked at her and said, did he use AI? And then she
had big words, or
yeah, the one she was hung up on, intergenerational, which really is not that big of a word. It just means between generations. Uh-oh, Greg the Great's in here. I'd say Greg the Good. He's not quite great, and he's definitely not him. But Makelky, thanks for sharing and flirting with me in the chat. That was nice. So she goes, yeah, he used AI. So what are we going to do about this? And the lunch ladies are looking at me like, we know that's not Eric. Like, what's this imposter twin, the op twin, going to say? And I looked at her and I said, maybe we should ask the real principal. And she cocks her head. She goes, what do you mean? And I said, well, I'm not the real principal. And she just stared at me. And then the lunch lady...
Was she tardy? She didn't know you were in the building this morning?
I
announced it?
I don't know. She must not have been paying attention. And the lunch ladies just bust out laughing. And then she realizes, oh, it's his twin. And she gets all mad at herself. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought that was Eric. And she like talks in a circle to herself like English teachers tend to do when they're upset. And the lunch ladies just thought it was hilarious. So I think she ended up coming and asking you later about the AI usage.
Yeah, but you're a better one to talk to her about it than me. That's what you do.
Well, the funny thing is, I wanted to say, can you introduce me to that kid? I'll send him my website and I'll teach him how to use it without cheating, because I don't know how he writes, but he probably just said, Chat GPT, write this for me, and just copied and pasted it.
Yeah, it's just like in the old days when kids would just get on the internet and copy a whole essay and paste it. It's like, if you would have used it, read it, changed it, made it your own, you wouldn't get caught on easybib.com for plagiarism.
Yeah, and it was ironic of all the things she asked me about that it was AI was the first issue that a teacher brought to me. So,
well, and I'm surprised our tech department doesn't block ChatGPT.
I wish ours didn't. Ours does.
It's kind of futile because it's like kids are just going to do it on their own device and on their own network and paste it into their school Google Doc or whatever. So.
Yeah, and I don't know how far you want to go down the AI rabbit hole, but every kid that I see, I was in an English class in my school one of the few days I went to work this week. What's up, Bella? Thanks for joining. And these two kids were on their laptop pretending to type their paper, but they each had their phone out on some ghetto free AI app, doing sentence by sentence and just typing it in. So my thought was, and I don't know that English teacher's policy, I was just talking to a kid in the back of a class about something, but...
Well, I've asked our English teachers, I'm like, what are you guys going to do when kids turn in assignments that are written with AI? And that English teacher's answer, this was the last school year when ChatGPT was first coming out and South Park was making it famous. She goes, oh, I can tell the difference. I'm like, well,
No.
yeah, I know you can tell the difference, but what are you going to do about it? Like, are you going to say it's plagiarism and make them rewrite it? How are you really going to tell?
Yeah. That speaks to the power of AI, Greg, because you never would have graduated without it. So.
Superpower, getting you to the stage, getting that diploma.
Yeah. The wife is making us plug Puncher's 2A track. The girls got second today. It came down to the last race. So congrats to Coach Nugent. Yeah, the problem with that is you can catch the dumb kids who use it sloppy. You will not catch the good kids who use it smart. What's up, Macy? Yeah, Greg's not offended. Greg knows. I mean, I had Greg in class, so...
Well, in the South Park episode that made it famous, the girls are using AI to text the boys, right? Did you ever see it?
I haven't seen South Park since I was in college, so you must have more free time than me.
Teachers get mad at kids for using AI to write the assignments and turn in the papers, but then teachers are using AI to write curriculum and write the assessment and write the assignment. And I encourage teachers to use it. English teachers are like, we don't want to have assessments tied to one specific reading. So what do? I'm like, well, use AI generate some skill-based questions for your assessments, and they can apply to different text.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'd have to generate all these questions. Yeah, use AI.
That's
Right.
way faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Cameron? I mean, the best thing I've seen with AI in English class is I don't think any of my colleagues use it, but I made them this AI bot where you take the characters from a book and kids can say, like, why'd you kill Johnny? Or why'd you go in that door? And they'll...
Like an AMA with characters.
Exactly. And then you can even turn the plot of a book. Wow, Makelky. Good thing she works in healthcare and can afford all those roses she's sending us. Somebody just taught her how to give roses because she never does that. So she must have watched a tutorial or something. What's up, Lily? Yeah, but it's... People who hate on it just haven't used it. And there are so many other ways to use it. That's why AaronMakelky.com now exists and is... I think the only place that has resources specifically made for college students to use AI, like I have a prompt library of really detailed prompts that you can put into any AI that you use and have it help you do things besides saying, write me a paper on the Lord of the Flies, copy and paste. Thanks, Trost, for the roses.
Well, and our good friend Jethro puts it well. He says, if you assign writing, you're going to be in trouble with AI. But if you teach kids how to write, you don't have anything to worry about.
And you know what's even better is teach kids how to write with AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, that awkward moment when your wife is talking smack in your live chat. In my defense, she worked on Sunday, and I
You
had
didn't get your wife anything?
I
for
had a
Mother's Day?
plan. I had a plan to do something on Saturday, and she did it without me while I was building my website. And then she was mad, and this Sunday she doesn't work, so I was like,
She better not get you anything for Father's Day.
yeah, well, usually...
Yeah, exactly. Use AI. What can I do to get my wife something for Mother's Day? You got a chat bot for that?
I'm not going to answer that question on here. Casey, why do you got to hate in the all caps, man? After everything I've done for you, you're going to come on here and hate on me. It's just me is back. Well, okay, I'll explain, and I'm just going to dig the hole deeper, but now that everybody's asking in the chat, I guess I have to address it. She worked a 12-hour shift on Sunday. A 12-hour shift in healthcare really means 13 or 14 hours.
This is your excuse for not getting her anything? Is she working?
I didn't get anything for it yet. Well,
Yet? We're a week past Mother's Day.
6 days. It's not a
If you
week
bought something
yet.
on Amazon and it showed up a day late, you'd probably get a pardon.
Russell, you're right. I am cooked. That's
It's
why
a week
everybody's
after,
hating
and
on me.
you don't even have a plan.
I do
Start
have.
planning for next year,
I
May
do.
2025. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, everybody's hating on me in the chat. Okay. From now on, I'm not going to let my wife on my own lives because she just turns the mob against me. I didn't get her anything yet because I was going to do something Saturday while she was home with the kids. And then she's like, no, I'll just take the kids so you can work on your website and stuff. And then she worked on Sunday, and I was like, we'll just do it next week when she's actually
So
home.
she took the kids the day before Mother's Day, and you didn't go get her anything.
I just,
Yeah.
yeah, well, because I was going to go get something, but she had the kids. It was like a thing the boys and I were going to do for her. Yes, Chuka, thank you for the asterisks on the yet.
Yeah, that's right, Zoe. You tell him. He's a lost cause. Start planning for next year. Try and remember her birthday, maybe. Right?
Yeah, it's a month and a day after mine, so I got that handled. Yeah, they're not good excuses. I recognize that, but since everybody was hating
Then why
on me,
bring them up? Why dig the hole deeper?
well, because everybody was asking, so I had to.
Take responsibility for your failures.
I was not rationalizing. Chuka. Yeah, can you hook me up with like $100 gift card? Can I pay with my TikTok PayPal account?
Yeah, pay with roses.
I should have done the goal is I'll donate it to my wife's I'll donate it to my wife's late Mother's Day present if I get 750
Yeah, if we get
roses.
750 roses, he'll buy his wife something for Mother's Day.
Yeah. Well, like Dr. Gilbert would say, rationalizing is telling yourself rational lies, rationalizing.
So let's tell some more stories from when you were in the school this week. The English teacher.
Yeah, so
Who else just confused you and had a fun one?
Well, I think the best one was, as a principal, there's always this question of when's the first discipline issue going to come up. And you should tell them the lunch ladies, while they were jamming out serving breakfast, had a behavior incident that they brought to your attention in your office while I was sitting there. That was pretty ironic. What was the story with the behavior in breakfast, like before school even started?
I think it was from the day before, though, wasn't it?
I missed that part, but
When they asked me to talk to those kids.
yeah, the 2 kids specifically.
Yeah, I'm not going to say specifics, but
No, like collectively, what were they?
no, I'm not going to say that. So they just came up and said, we need you to talk to 2 kids that are
gotta stay
having
out.
issues. When they're coming through the lunch line, they were grabbing food off the lunch lady's serving trays with their hands. I don't know why that would be. Like, I don't know why anyone would take food off the serving tray with their bare hands. Do you ever see kids do that at Kelly Walsh?
I stay away from the lunchroom, but
Yeah. You guys don't have lunch duty?
no, we have a duty-free contract.
So who does lunch duty in your school?
Realistically, nobody, but campus security is supposed to. What's up, Miss Tish?
Holy, Toner, 178 roses plus 31. Thanks,
They-
Toner.
Clearly, there are good math teachers in Glen Rock. Actually, I know that because I watched the one teach. She had a cool warm-up, but I just think...
Good one, Casey.
now
No more excuses.
Now I really have no excuse, because that and everyone making fun of me on my own live while my wife is listening. So, what's up, Jesse? Yeah, I just thought it would be, so hypothetically, it would be ironic if, while there were twin principals for a day, twins got in trouble at school. That's what I was trying to say. And if that's all I can say, then I'll leave it at
Well,
that.
there's 2 kinds of twins. There's the worst kids in the school that are twins, and then there's like the good twins. There's no average twins, right?
I just
They're
know
either-
type A is they fight and butt heads and hate each other, and type B is they tell each other secrets and they're soulmates, which is clearly not
And those
us.
are the kind that don't get in trouble. Type A are the ones that get in trouble, right?
Yeah. But usually it's for fighting each other, not ganging up on somebody else. So, what's up, Carmine? You probably got some homework you should be doing. Jesse, you should tell me what you're up to these days now that you're out of school, man. Uh-oh. Right when we start telling twin stories, if that's the Emma I think it is, a twin just hopped in here who definitely has some twin stories. What's up, Mike?
Law by Mike.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Trost, you must have recharged your TikTok credit card or something. Yeah, so here's another good one. Let's talk about yonder pouches, because nobody knows, unless you're in a school that has a medieval principal like you. What are yonder pouches, and what's your philosophy with the phone usage? And then I'll tell them the story when I went around and gave out the candy and took the metal detector wand to the kids who had their stuff in their pouches.
Yeah, so I heard somebody the other day say the 3 biggest frustrations for teachers, which is what good principals are trying to address, right? Removing barriers to being a teacher.
Peace out, Chuka. We'll talk about a gift card and like live streaming a haircut or something.
Are the ABCs: attendance, behavior, cell phones. So with the cell phones, I used yonder pouches before I came to this school. We were the first school in Wyoming to use it years ago. It doesn't mean it's the best thing to do just because we were early adopters. But when I came and toured the school as part of my interview, it was out of control. There's no teaching and learning going on when, worse than the kids on their phones, in the classroom, in the hallways, everywhere, there were teachers sitting at their desk on their phone during class. There were classified staff sitting or standing just doom scrolling. I'm like, what is going on here? It's like people gave up on actually trying to do anything. So I asked some people what the biggest problems were, but I could see it for myself. And I heard that from staff too, that cell phones are just out of control. So if you're a teacher who's trying to address cell phone usage, it's you against the mob. Well, nobody else makes us turn our phones in. You're the only teacher who doesn't let us do this. You're the only teacher with that rule. So there's a lot of power in a school-wide expectation for cell phones. And what I like about the Yonder Pouch is it's a tool that lets kids learn how to manage it themselves. And you noticed, like, one of your jobs as the principal when you were in the school on Wednesday was to go around and reward the kids that do the 3 things we ask that are posted on the doors every day when they walk in. Power down your phone, put it in the pouch, lock it up. Now, there's a lot of kids that don't have cell phones. There's a lot of kids that are like, man, I'm just leaving it in my truck. I just leave it at home. Some of them power it down and put it in the bottom of their backpack because they're worried if there's an emergency, they need to get to it. Well, we have a solution for that. But it's a good tool to just get phones out.
What's your solution to the I need my phone in case there's an emergency?
You can get into them if it's an emergency. We have magnets that we can go give teachers. Some teachers check them out, like yearbook teachers, need their kids' phones for pictures and getting stuff off social media and whatever. Coaches, some of our coaches have a rule, no phones until the way home. And
I like that rule.
It's a good way to get cell phones out of the locker room, which gets kids in trouble, videoing inappropriate things and inciting fights and posting them. So we have like mobile magnets that coaches and teachers can take. And really, in an emergency, if you talk to law enforcement, the worst thing that can happen is every single person in the school's on their cell phone. And I've been in a school when that happened. There was a bomb threat years ago, and the cell phone tower went down. And then nobody's phone would work. So then emergency services, medical, law enforcement, administration couldn't communicate. So dispatch gets overloaded, and what they do is they just unplug the dispatch, and they only talk to like the lead person, incident manager. So you don't want everybody on their phone right when chaos breaks out. So we have ways to get them either torn open or unlocked so you can get to your phone. But what did kids say to you? Because you had the principal's desk rolling around the halls, and you had your cell phone sitting on the cart, right?
Yeah.
Some kids saw it. What'd they say to you?
Yeah, what's up, Raza? What's up, Gary? Raza, you must be bored, man. You're not out on an oil rig making money. What's up, Kayla? The middle school versus the high school kids are very different. And just to be clear, like, what is a Yonder pouch?
Oh, yeah.
It's, take the biggest iPhone or folding Samsung phone, it's like twice that size. And it's like a heavy cloth pouch. Mm-hmm. But then it has this folding part at the top with a big magnet. So you can put your stuff in it, but you have to like click the magnet together.
No, it's got a pin. It's got a pin that you lock, and then it's shut at the top. So at the end of the day, kids go up to the magnet on the wall and unlock their pouch, pull their phone out. It actually came from the entertainment industry. You always hear like musicians and stand-up comedians say, please no cell phones, no flashes, because it's really distracting, and nobody listens because people go to a concert or a show and they want to get a picture.
Yeah.
So Yonder started making those, and they're mandatory at concerts and live performances. They make you lock up your phone.
Yeah. What's up, Cade? That's the only Kelly Walsh students that have known what they are say, oh, that's what you have to put your phone in when you go to a concert. So
Does somebody do that here, like locally?
I don't know if it was a concert here. One of my student aides, if Tatum's still in here, what's up, cutie, was just saying, oh, I know what those are because I went to a concert. Yeah. And I said, you have to put your phone in these things when you come in. And then when you walk out, you have the magnet, take your stuff out, and you leave the pouch. So, yeah, what's up, Adam? To me, the biggest difference is the middle school kids were compliant in that they either didn't have their phone on them or it was in the pouch, and they didn't think it was cheesy. The high school kids were a different story, especially the one dude who talked back to me. But it was kind of like, oh, that's dumb. Like, why would I do that? Kind of like, if it's a school rule, it must be cheesy to do. And I'm not going to be trying to think of a PG-13 word so I don't go back to TikTok.
Brown noser?
Yeah, butt kisser, brown noser, teacher's pet, whatever. And so what he had me do is take a treat cart And I tried to get as much protein as I could on there because Glen Rock kids were looking skinny. But I got the beef jerky, the pistachios, some Ritz cracker
Protein
candy.
bars.
Yeah, not quite, but you'd probably have better compliance if you did like protein shakes or something, muscle milks. Push the cart around, and I'd go in the class and say, okay, if you have your phone in a Yonder pouch, you get a treat. And if you don't have a phone at all, you can have a Dum Dum, like the low tier snack. But the kids who'd say I don't have one, I would wand them. And I had a metal detector. And the cool thing about his metal detector is it has a vibrate mode. Because you don't want the kid to know when you indicate or not. Because if you do the light flashing beep mode, they're like, oh, he found my vape. Raza doesn't know anything about that because he doesn't vape. But so then I would wand kids. And middle school kids were like excited to get wanded. They're like, check my backpack. Check my pockets.
It's like when you bring the drug dogs in. The junior high kids are like, oh, cute, can I pet him? You know, and it's like they're not really afraid of those things yet. So.
Yeah, and they want to prove to you that they're not lying because they want your approval. They want to follow the rules. So I, like, just in year one cooking class, I probably wanted 6 kids' backpacks. Like, no, do this pocket too. I was like, are you trying to get busted? Who tells the cop?
Did kids ask you if they could use the metal detector?
No. They wanted to know how it worked, and I was like, it's on vibrate mode, so you can't tell when I'm busting you.
Kids recently started saying, like, can I use it? Like, can I wand the kids that say they don't have their phone?
Yeah.
I just ask them, I'm like, are you metal detector certified? I know you're forklift certified, but if you're not metal detector certified, you don't get to operate it.
Yeah, what's up, Ava? Thanks for joining. You guys should share it for the last 15 minutes. Uh-oh. Memer Man is in here.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know, but just a good old-fashioned metal detector will pick up cell phones and will pick up vapes because they all have those heating elements in them no matter what style they are. So it's a pretty useful tool as an administrator. Yeah. You got to have it on your cart because when you get a call and you're up in the, upstairs or you're in a far wing of the school, you can't always run back to your office and get your metal detector.
Yeah, and kids think it's cool. I'm sure at school dances and stuff you get some use out of it. But the guy talking back to me, we'll have to tell that story since we're on the subject of Yonder pouches. And
so this started when you were checking compliance with the treat cart?
Yep. And that was a good example of the shift between middle school and high school kids. Casey, we'll address that question at the end, my man, because I've been talking that up when kids asked why I was gone Wednesday. I told them I was overseas recruiting allies to join the cause. What's up, Coasted? So through the middle school, almost all the kids had their phone put away or in a pouch, and a couple kids per class had it in the pouch and wanted a good treat. But then you get to the high school, and most of them wouldn't even try to be like, oh yeah, I don't have my phone. They just sat there like, accepting they don't get a treat. And so I go into, I think it was a math class, and there was a whole table of boys looking at me, and they were saying, oh, he's not the real twin. And I got called a lot of funny things, which we'll go more into later. But Doodle Bob, the Op Makelky.
You're not my Makelky.
Yeah, you're not my Makelky. And this kid started like laughing, and he goes, you're not the real principal. You can't do anything. And I had his secretary with me, so I was like, oh, she's going to think I'm crazy. And so will this math teacher I got to watch her teach for like 30 minutes. She was a really good math teacher.
Shout out to Mrs. Pasco.
Yep. And so this dude in the front who was talking back to me, I just said, oh, you want to put me on blast in front of the whole class? And he kind of laughed like, what are you going to do? And I said, on my Mac. Thanks, Memer Man. That's for all the time you spend in my TC. Paying rent now, finally. And I said, stand up. What's in your pocket? And you could see his face instantly got red, and I grabbed the metal detector off the cart, and I started playing it in my hand like a paddle, like I was going to spank him with it. What's up, Kenna? Thanks for sharing the live for the last 15 minutes. And he just gets all red, and I could see something in his pockets. I was like, this will be hilarious if he has a vape or some kind of legit contraband, because I'm going to bust him and take him down to the office. And I was like, is that a phone? And I started going over his pocket, and it's vibrating like crazy. And I was like, pull that out. What's that thing? and it was kind of rectangular, and he pulls it out. It was his wallet, but then there was something about the size of a credit card or smaller, and I wanted it again because he didn't pull that out with his wallet. And I was like, oh.
That's a sign.
Yeah. And in front of the whole class, since he put me on blast, I did it right back times 10. And I said, how awkward would it be if the op Makelky busted you for a vape in front of your whole class? And he was red, so I was like, oh, I kind of hope it's not a vape because I'm going to have to do the paperwork or something.
Yeah.
He's going to appeal it to the Supreme Court and say I wasn't a real principal, busted him, so it was inadmissible evidence.
You don't need to be an administrator to take a vape off a kid.
No, I know. But what's up, Eva? So I wanted him again. I was like, what is it? And he pulls it out, and it was an AirPod case, but I figured if they can't have their phones, technically, I know it wasn't in his ears, but he shouldn't have those on him, right?
Well, our expectation, and this is the key to have some consistency in a school with cell phones. If you work in this school, you see a phone or you hear a phone, you take it. Yeah. That's it. That's all you got to worry about. So teachers aren't checking, searching,
Memer Man's
collecting,
blowing up the chat with the roses,
putting stuff here or there. It's just, I want teachers to teach and kids to learn. And if we see your phone or we hear your phone, we take it. That's it.
And that applies to an Apple Watch or earbuds or headphones?
Well, they're not allowed to wear headphones unless, it's for a class testing or doing an assignment where we have headphones that we give kids.
But what about having AirPods in their pocket or out on their desk?
Well, that's one of the things that, kids know. We're not going to search their pockets to see if they have AirPods. So if we see AirPods, yeah, we'll take them. If we see a phone, we'll take it. We're not going to pat them down. Kids will try and do that. They'll walk in with the rectangle impression in their jean pocket. And I saw a teacher last year who's like, oh, give me your phone. And he pulls it out and it's a phone case. And he's like, oh, ho, ho, I got you.
Kids love to do that.
So we don't look for phones, but if we see them or we hear them, we got to take them.
Yeah, Memer Man, I believe you about your money, but not your funny. Other than the comment on my iPhone Jenga tower, I don't think you got it in you. Yes, it goes till 6, so we got a couple good twin stories left. We're saving the best ones for last. Caden Raza gets the Iron Man award for liking the live and being in here the longest. But I thought it was funny because then that kid has a story, Doodle Bob Makelky busted me.
Yeah, what is Doodle Bob?
Well, your middle school kids kept calling me Doodle Bob Makelky, and I finally just asked one of them, what the heck does that mean? And they assumed I watched SpongeBob SquarePants because they're middle school kids and have no concept of reality.
Do they watch SpongeBob?
Well, if they're calling me Doodle Bob, I'm assuming they do. And they went into it about this episode of SpongeBob has a clone who's the evil twin of his called Doodle Bob. And so apparently a bunch of 8th grade boys thought that was funny. And every time I walk by in the hallway, they point at me and say, Doodle Bob Makelky. The high school kids were calling me Op.
Which means what?
Do you not know what an Op is?
Opposite? Opposition?
I mean, it is short. Do you know what Among Us is?
Oh, yeah.
The game where you run around on the spaceship. Mm-hmm. You call the person who's not on your team the Op.
Oh. Okay.
Which stands for opposition. Doodle Bop? I don't know, I thought it was Doodle Bob.
Yeah, it was something to do with SpongeBob.
But Marley, there's no way.
What's a lightsaber?
I have no idea. I'm surprised Marley took a break from what's the game? Helldivers. He's not calling in. It was aired in the 90s. I never watched SpongeBob as a kid. I watched World War I documentaries about chemical weapons. I never watched cartoons. Yeah, we know what lightsabers are, but why? What do you mean you want one? Is that the winner for the top gifter? You get a lightsaber, Marley? But yeah, Doodle Bob. So I got called Doodle Bob, Op, Mac.
Uh-oh, Chaz in the house.
But when someone calls you their Op, that kid got busted by me, and it's the person who haunts your dreams. The English teacher that makes you write all the papers. They're oh, she's my Op. My enemy who haunts my dreams, I guess.
I hope someday you get your lightsaber, Marley. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I've seen your science grades. I don't know if you're inventing one anytime soon, but you have a good history grade. Yeah, Memer Man's trying to fight for the top gifter. He said he got his money up and his funny up, but I think it's just his money that's up.
Well, and it's funny how, like, territorial the students were with you versus me. One of my favorite things I heard this week was the next day, after you were at school, I was walking down the hall and I told the student, "Hey, good morning, how are you?" And she goes, "Hey, I got to tell you, I saw you yesterday. Well, I thought I saw you yesterday." And she doesn't have a first period class, so she didn't know what was going on. She goes, "You walked right by me and you didn't ask me how I was doing. I knew something was wrong with you." And I went to the office and I was like, "What's wrong with Makelky today?"
Yes, Megan, send him in immediately. Mustache bristling.
And that made me proud that she recognized, like, every time I walk by in the hall, A, I know your name, B, I say good morning, and C, I ask you how you're doing. And if I don't do that, kids are like, something's wrong, like he's having a bad day or he's doing something's going on.
Yeah, well, and another funny example of that was when I was wanting kids for cell phones.
Grandpa,
The one kid said, "I don't have my
you gotta
phone."
come say hi.
And I said, "I don't trust you. Come over here and I have to wand your backpack." And he goes, "The
just
real
come
Makelky knows I don't have my phone." And I was like, how does your
Just
principal
come
know
wave.
that you don't
There
have
won't
a
be
phone?
another time. Come on. Get up. Just come wave.
We're trying to get old man Makelky to stick
It's not
his
on
head
the
in
internet.
here.
When it's done, it's done. No one can see it. Like, you can't go back and watch the video like YouTube.
Come on. Everybody wants to see your mustache. They're clamoring. You stay out. No, here, have him just stand behind us. Or you stand behind us.
Oh, yeah.
Grandpa Jeff in the
Right
house.
here.
I may be the oldest person ever to be on TikTok.
Yeah, get a picture of this.
Go Punchers. Go Punchers.
Get his-
number 2 at state today.
Yep.
Get his mustache in HD.
They're jealous.
Caden Raza is like, what? I see my old principal and my coach on the same live.
Yeah. Caden called me the other night. He had an interesting phone call. He dunked it on somebody. He wanted me to pull it up on the school camera in the gym. So
How
it was
old is
pretty
he?
funny.
Isn't he like 25 now?
No, he just looks like it.
Anyway, I got a kick out of that. Appreciate the call, Caden. All right, this is it. First time and last time on TikTok.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Your principal street cred went up being on TikTok. Ask him. His principal street cred has gone up exponentially. He needs to learn how to live a little. He's going to retire in a year. and he
Old
doesn't
people
have
are
any
scared.
phone.
TikTok's scary for old people.
What's up, Bo Pokes? Yeah, but I mean, an example I was telling why you peeked out. A kid was shocked that he knew I wasn't the real Makelky because he goes, "Principal Makelky knows my phone screen is broken and I sent it in to get it fixed."
Really?
And I was like, in what school in America would your principal know the status of your phone repair? Because obviously at Kelly Walsh, when there's 2,100 kids, the principal doesn't even know your name. Most principals don't know your name. But he was offended that he's like, "I mailed it in yesterday. Don't you know that?" And then the kid's like, "He's Doodlebot Makelky. He doesn't know." So that would never happen in a big school. Yeah. Yeah, Tross, that's because you've been in there trying to plan the senior prank like 17 times and got picked to speak. That's why they know who you are, but they wouldn't know the status of your phone repair. They just know it has an olive drab, boring green case that matches your 17th pair of dudes. What's up, May? Yeah, so how about this? What's the biggest takeaway from the Twincipal experience on Wednesday as these guys share the live for the last 2 or 3 minutes? What's up, Susanna?
Well, I appreciated that you were actually helpful. You know, my Mrs. Makelky, my bride's worry was you were going to come in and try and be competitive and make me look bad. And that's why we had the talk about the one ground rule that you were given permission to do this based on. And that is, like, you got to be helpful. Because you've snuck in the school before where I'm an administrator, assistant principal, or principal. And you were running around telling kids they had detention for running in the hall. Because then you'd leave and...
It is funny, though.
It's funny to you, but then kids show up and have detention, and I don't know about it. And then their parents are mad, like, you really gave my kid detention for running to the bus at dismissal. So I appreciated that you were helpful. And I thought it was fun too. I think the kids enjoyed it. I came in the next day and a kid walked up to me and he's like, "Hey, check out my backpack," and he had your sticker on it. And
Yeah.
we did your.
He told me in computer science class, "Don't be sorry, be better," and he snickered because he knows that's my thing. So little does he know, Kelly Walsh kids all know, I just pulled my merch stash out of my backpack and I was like, I found him later that day, but I got him a sticker before I left because he used my own saying against me.
Did you say sorry?
I must have. I don't know. He said it to me in a sarcastic tone, and the TikTok savvy kids in the class all laughed because they knew that was my thing. So yeah, what's up, Trig? So yeah, Megan really wants to hear the story about best man speeches, but we're gonna have to save that for episode 5. That could be the whole episode between the two.
I think we have a video of your best man speech, don't we?
Yeah. What's up, Lily? We do. I don't know if I could like transcribe it or download it, but my biggest takeaway from the Twinciple thing was it's unique that as an identical twin who at least has a license to do the same job, that I could stand in the office and actually help with some things while you're doing another duty. So it's like literally a clone of you, genetically a clone. Uh-oh. Aspen's in the house.
Well, that's what people said. Like the superintendent was like, "Man, I wish I could have a clone, like one person to go be proactive and be visible and one person to get office work done." And that's kind of what was going on because I was trying to help the seniors practice for graduation and go do the graduate walks at the schools and then go do lunch and then meet with the senior class sponsors, getting all that end of the school year stuff laid out. But
yeah, well, I'll tell this story and you can cut me off, but I'll respect confidentiality. While standing in the office, maybe the highlight, the English teacher came up and had the AI plagiarism thing and thought I was Principal Makelky, and then I was like, nope, let's ask the real principal. Connor's trying to get a shirt. Link in bio, dog. Go to my link in bio, and the second one down is the Mac Talk merch. I'm going to do another merch drop, hopefully by the end of next week, and then I have special edition, because our birthday is a federal holiday. I have some special edition merch that's only going to drop once a year because Juneteenth is now the coolest holiday in America and the coolest day of the year. What's up, Izzy? But I was standing in the office and... No, let's tell the good cop, bad cop story. That one's pretty good.
which one?
The one kid you sent me in the morning, you're like, hey, go line him out, and then I'll walk in.
Oh.
That's all. We won't, obviously, I don't even know his name, but yeah, June 19th is Juneteenth, federal holiday. Best thing President Biden ever done for America. He made our birthday a federal holiday. Aspen's dad would tell you that's the only thing he did for America that was good, but it was still a good thing. Yeah. Uh-oh, Makai in the house. But there's going to be special edition Juneteenth merch. So, oh, look, Casey, you guys can get along in the chat this time. So, good cop, bad cop story. This is like a nightmare scenario for a high school student. You did something stupid and you got ISS. ISS sucks. You have to come to school on time, and then you're basically solitary confinement style. Yeah. And in Glen Rock, they pretty much like stick you in a closet with a desk.
There's a window.
Barely, but it's like, I don't even know what that room would be for when they built the
We
school.
give you a cup of water and a cheese sandwich, too.
That
slide it under the bars.
And this is the second compliment I've given him. One was his DJing at the start of the morning was surprisingly good. I'll give him a second compliment on here. He goes, hey, let's mess with this kid in ISS, because I don't think he was at the assembly. And we're dressed the same. I'm at his school, and he goes, you go in and just start like chewing his butt about being an ISS, and then I'll come in and start talking to him at the same time. We'll just see what he does. So this poor kid's got ISS, and he's sitting at a desk in this glorified closet. And I storm in there.
It's called the box.
The box,
He's in the box.
Solitary. And I storm in there with my Glen Rock polo on and my black tie, and I think we had our glasses on at that time. And I just stand over him and I go, all right, are we clear on the expectations of ISS? You got your phone in the pouch? I expect you to make better decisions today because you know why you're in here. And it's funny because, like, I don't know his name. I don't know why he's in there. I've never seen this kid before. And he's just in there. He's like, like, I don't think he even said a word. And I'm just chewing on him hard.
I gave you about a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
45 seconds to a minute of me just ripping a kid, and I'm running out of things to rip him about because I don't even know his name. And then I stand to the side, and he comes in there and just good cops him. And you could tell the kid, he just starts looking back and forth, and he's like, there's two of you? What the heck?
Yeah. He was a little late to the party.
Yeah. I don't know which Steph this is, but we'll have to look in the chat. When you say Mr. Makelky, you got to specify. Oh, is that Steph?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. She asked the most questions of any student ever after world history class when we did Buddhism and the Eastern philosophies and religions. So shout out to Steph for being curious in world history class. Alfonso's in here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I mean, that was pretty funny because it's one thing to get ISS. It's another thing to get chewed out by your principal to start the day in ISS. But then your principal's twin comes in and messes with you while you're in ISS. So I'm pretty sure that guy has twin PTSD from his morning.
Should have made better choices.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. If he doesn't like it, he can go back to ISS next week. So we'll tell the best man stories next time. If you guys want Principal Makelky, that's why you can't just say Mr. Principal Makelky, Teacher Makelky, old, gray-haired, stressed Makelky, young, svelte, nutritious, healthy.
What's that make the big piney Makelky if I'm the old, gray-haired, stressed out one?
If you're old, he's ancient. That's easy. Yeah, we'll answer your question, Casey. But if you want him to keep coming on, we have to pay him in roses because his wife is distrustful of TikTok and thinks it's just spyware from the Chinese Communist Party. It's a figure of speech.
That does make me the older twin, Trost, you're right.
Yeah, and his was offensive, and before AI was
Mine
a
was
thing,
offensive?
my wife still gets upset about it. I'm using the PG word, but it's south of upset.
I offended her, but it wasn't like inappropriate language. It was PG.
I use you as my example. I do diplomatic toast in world history class, and we talk about the rules of giving a best man speech. And what's rule number 1? You never
say anything bad about the bride.
Yeah, and the first thing you did was embarrass the bride in a sarcastic way, but you embarrassed her. She's never forgotten it. She'll give you an earful.
Maybe I should start getting her a Mother's Day present.
Well, you couldn't have done worse than me. Luckily, Casey funded my Mother's Day belated shopping trip I'm going to have to take when I get off the live. Yeah, she didn't deserve it. She's the best.
Well, she did agree to marry him, so technically she did deserve it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, she knew what she was getting into. There's ups and downs, but we have to pay him in roses so he can keep coming back and having a good attitude and being in a better mood when he goes to school on Monday. Yeah, Megan's still hating on me for the Mother's Day thing. So, yeah, last update on the history wars, history class battles. I have a bunch of footage, but if there's kids' faces, I can't post it. So I'm trying to get better at video editing or turn it into an audio thing. But my second block of elite Spartan juniors declared war on the second block freshman history class with Middlestat, and we escalated back and forth, but all I can say on the live is I took some time off and went overseas to get some foreign powers to weigh in and change it from a civil war within Kelly Walsh to being a world war, and have some foreign allies who are going to come in person declare war on Middlestat's second block. Also, everybody who's been asking about the plant babies, they're not in my room anymore. While I was gone for 2 days, I didn't trust Middlestat's crew to not sneak them back. Now, I branded them with my merch, and he has my face on his pencil sharpener, his question ball, and both of his plant babies. But his plant babies are in a secure location, and just so you guys know, no war crimes have been committed against the plants. They are getting sunlight. They get watered twice a week. That's all they get. And the leaves, I only trimmed the dead ones when I taunted him with my response. I didn't kill any of the live ones. But we have an ally that's going to come declare war on him, and that person in the chat knows who they are. What I would encourage you to do is write a denouncement speech And if you wanted to use a historical example or plug it into AI and say, change the context, I personally am a big fan of December 8th, 1941, in front of a joint session of Congress. FDR gave the Pearl Harbor speech denouncing the Japanese and imploring the U.S. Senate to declare war on Japan and Germany and their allies. That would be a good one to use. The teacher who came in, he had a drum playing and his students marched in, and then he had a scroll and he read this like 5-minute thing in a British accent and said, if you don't surrender to us, you're going to become a protectorate. And you have 10 minutes to respond. So we wanted to do a laconic response, which is a tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic, short response. My favorite one from history is the U.S. commander at the Battle of the Bulge told the Nazis, they said, surrender, you have no heavy weapons, we have tanks, don't waste your men's lives. Do you know what his response was? 4 letters, all caps. Nuts. Which is like saying, aw shucks. And so I told my students, we need a laconic response. The Spartans said if. The Americans said nuts. And in classic TikTok brain rot style, my kids said, just say womp womp and then call him Pookie. And I was like, what the hell does womp womp Pookie mean? Yeah, right there in the chat. They know who they are. Caitlin's working. She's really sad she missed this, but so we wrote on a scroll womp womp Pookie. And I marched down there with my Spartan helmet on.
What does it mean?
Do you know what womp womp means?
No. Is it appropriate?
Yeah, it's totally
PG?
appropriate. It's like if your kid complains and you're just like, the adult saying would be, I'm playing the world's smallest fiddle. You're making fun of someone who's whining.
Wah.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like the video game sound when your guy dies, like womp womp. Or like a game show when you lose.
What's Pookie?
Pookie's just like a fun, like baby or honey, like you're just making fun of someone with an affectionate name. So I went down there and I unraveled my scroll and I said, I have a reply. And I'm wearing a sweater vest and a Spartan helmet, so they thought I was going to write this 10-minute speech. And I just said, womp, womp, Pookie, and I dropped the thing. I have a video of it that I need content for the summer, so I didn't post it.
Did they get it?
Oh, yeah. All his kids laughed. Yeah, I don't want to know what Pookie means. But, so that will escalate.
Do you want to come say
Casey,
hi?
if that doesn't help,
you want to come in?
You dropped your mic receiver right there. What's up, Kate?
You want to say hi?
Oh, you got some ink done. You've been living in Glenrock too long that you got a tattoo.
You want to show your
before
tattoo on TikTok?
Oh,
Look
my
at that
goodness.
tattoo.
You're officially a townie now. You're going to drive a Super Duty with a lift kit. Yeah, I will be looking up the definition of Pookie and seeing what it really means. Because like glazing, there's always another meaning that teachers don't understand. Well, she's his kid. You're not. So we'll plan out next week what the schedule is, but this guy has graduation tomorrow. Out. And we'll post lots of stuff this week. Miles, get out. I'm not going back to TikTok jail because of you, son.
Can you say hi, TikTok?
Hi, TikTok.
Yep. So we'll post what the schedule is, but we'll do another one next week. Will be episode 5. This is episode 4, and then you can go to my link in bio page if you guys want to check out the website and learn how to use AI. There's the merch is in the link in bio, and you have all my socials. And you can go, these will be, the full version of these go on YouTube the next Monday after they're on TikTok, so you guys can follow those. So, episode 4, Twin Talk. His family's here, ready to celebrate a birthday. What's up, Tayson?
Kanye's version.
Yep, but we got to go have family dinner, so I'll let you say your thing and then I'll sign off.
Yeah, I was just going to say thanks for coming this week. It was fun. I'm glad we got enough roses for you to come be twinciple for the day.
Yeah, which was like 99% Glenrock kids, so they deserve to have me there. What's up, Curtis? You should be writing your English essay on The Grapes of Wrath or whatever book Miss Galloway's trying to get you to read while you're sleeping in 4th block. Yeah, so we'll catch you guys next week. Follow me if you haven't already, and check out the link in bio page. Don't be sorry. Be better. Have a great weekend. And
Say
we'll
bye,
see you guys
TikTok.
next week.